She is a professor of English officially, so she knows what to do with the language. Large language model AI, remember? So language is very important. But she also working with the data science academy, as the director of theirs, doing lots of things with the faculty, different type of faculty.
I'm glad we did something for you today. So I'm going to be introducing to you what we call confidence coach. Confidence coach. And you can go to your cell phone or laptop, but we have a tiny URL here. Okay, and we came up with 4 different questions as a starting point. So we built this chatbot with the East Asian, need for assertiveness skills in mind, and we want to focus on different age groups. So we have teenagers and adults here. So if you go to the tinyurl.com and then you have the link there, is it working for anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. So we want to start with, we want to invite you to start with the first question. Understand my personality and weaknesses, or my strengths and weaknesses. So ChatGPT will give you some combination of personality. So the questions to understand who you are. And then we invite you to identify yourself either as an adult or a teenager. I think that's a mandatory question. So we know how to cater our responses to your age group and the unique needs of teenagers versus adults. And then the second question we'd like you to try today is one leadership skill you'd like to improve or develop. I think we all know our weaknesses, hopefully, to some extent. So identify one thing that you really want to improve and then chat with the chatbot. And then we also offer options to help you to develop a personalized leadership development plan. And that's typically like 1 month long, 4 weeks. And then eventually we'd like you to keep track of your leadership development journey, so some kind of assessment, right? How do you do? Have you improved? Okay, so that's the entire package. So the task for today is I'd like you to try and ask, what is your answer the question and decide what is your personal trait, personal strengths and weaknesses. So it will give you up to 5 to 6 questions. And then the second step is one leadership skills you want to improve, okay? And eventually, if you click on the third button, right, you can come up with a month-long development plan. If you click on understand my personality and weaknesses, so it will give you a set of prompts. So I'll ask you first, are you a teenager or adult, right? What are the goals you try to achieve? What is the challenge you face? So you can, what I would do is to copy and paste, and then come here and see, I am a teenager. Okay, leadership, go to work on, I'll say, assertiveness in group events. Challenge I face, I'll say dismissal from more aggressive colleagues. How about that?
That's a good example.
Right, colleagues. Okay.
Just don't say India.
Right, and then you can enter, and then it will start to give you some really helpful responses. So first, personality style, right? Weaknesses, and then how do you be assertive, right? So it gives you some ways, the formula, right? And then how to do that. Yeah, example, how do you say that? And then, and it gives you a goal, right? Next time, try to speak up. Okay. Yeah, first 15 minutes, use the formula, right? And then it asks you to reflect. Are you doing better? Are you making progress? So I think it's a really nice way for us to keep track of very tiny goals, right? Like next meeting, I want to speak at least once, right? And I want to bring something that's useful to the table before the meeting based on the agenda of the meeting. So you do your homework, you prepare, you go to that meeting prepared, and you can contribute more meaningfully that way. So I think taking time to prepare, taking time to, like Professor Lee said, to come up with ways to say, right, in your pocket. So you go to the meeting prepared, and if you have someone who want to dismiss you, you can fight back a little bit, right? Say, okay, here's maybe some additional thanks. I think it takes a lot of practice, but this is a good starting point.
So from there, you can ask for some example of how to deal with the dismissive people. They'll give you 10 different examples. In what situation would you say? Okay, so you can practice for your question about getting interrupted all the time. And that's how you do it. So some of those examples are very, very useful.
So
Very simple but useful.
Can you have a role play, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have colleagues who constantly dismiss, right? Interrupt and dismiss my ideas, right? So you need to ask good questions and, personal tailored questions, and then you can get better responses that way, right?
Now make sure your interaction is more personal to your situation, not so generic.
Yeah. And don't give personal information to ChatGPT, by the way, because whatever you give to it, it will be there forever as training data. So privacy is a huge deal, right? So calm, redirection, acknowledge, and reframe, just as Professor Lee said, reframe, right? And then set boundaries, claim back your time and your turn, right? And then some way to say things. So that's something I think we can use. I've been using this chatbot after we developed it, and I found it to be really helpful to me personally as well. So you can give that a try after this. I do want to move on to, so we talked about verbal, right? Verbal stuff. And I do want to move on to nonverbal communication. Oh, okay, sure. Great. So verbal communication is what you say. Non-verbal communication is how you say it, right? And I want to introduce to you a formula, a rule that says, that's 7, 38, and 55 rule of communication, or first impression you make. Okay, and basically what it means is how you impress others, right? How you give people first impression. 7% comes from what we say, okay? 38% comes from our voice and tone, how we say, and 55% comes from what? It comes from your body language, okay? Like at home, you can, like as parents, you can tell your kid, I'm not very angry with you, right? The verb, the content and your voice and your body language misalign, and we know you are angry, right? So I want you to think about that, and then we'll practice eye contact. And the first thing I want you to practice is, when you talk to someone, can you hold your gaze for 4 to 10 seconds? Look at people in the eyes while you talk. That's the first challenge, right? The second challenge, when you give a talk to a big audience like this, can you scan the room and have eye contact, like a zigzag pattern to engage with the entire audience, right? And the third one is, can you smile and nod, right, to show you are open, you are engaging with your audience, you are well-intentioned, right? That's how you present yourself, in an effective way, right, to your audience. And then I work with kids all the time, right? And sometimes they'll say, I don't know what to look. I can't look at someone in the eye directly. So where else can we look, right? You can look at between the nose and mouth. That's a safe place, right? You can look at the forehead, right? Or you can look between the chairs, right? If it's a big classroom, a big audience, you don't have to look at one person all the time. So if you feel uncomfortable, shift from the eye to somewhere else, right? So that can be practiced. Okay. So I think we still have time. So we'll do computer vision as your confidence coach again. So what we will be using will be supervised machine learning, okay? And we'll be using Teachable Machine. So if you can Google Teachable Machine in your device, okay? Teachable Machine, and then you should land on the first tab, right? Get started. Are you able to get there? Teachable Machine. It's a Google machine learning platform. Okay, so you are able to get there, right? So I'd like you to. So I can look your screen as well. It's just shifting between. Okay, so I have Teachable Machine. Okay, right. So it will ask you to allow it to access your camera. So you can give it access, right? So I'll say get started. If you can walk along with me, get started. Okay, and then let's click on image project. So it's a facial recognition tool. And then after click on that, you can click on standard image model. So again, go back, get started, image project, and then standard image model. Okay? And then, so you have class, right? So I'd like you to start with eye contact. Right? Can you look at someone, right? So let's try to do that. If you have are we doing okay?
It's not working on my phone, but you can keep going.
Okay. It's working on yours?
I don't think it works on mobile.
Oh, so you need a
Because it
laptop,
uses the
right?
computer to train.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Thank you. All right.
Well, go home and use your computer then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It works, yeah.
Yeah. So if you, the first category will say eye contact. The second category will say no eye contact. So I want you to trace yourself, and then we'll add a class saying smile. You want to look friendly, and then add another class saying angry or upset. Okay, and then we'll start training our model. So if you have your class, you can click on first one, eye contact, webcam, right? So I'll look at my webcam.
No eye.
See that again?
No.
Oh, okay. So I'll allow my camera, and then I'll hold to record and look at my camera while recording.
No blinking, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
4 to 6 seconds. If you're blinking, you lost the confidence.
Yeah. Okay, and then the second class, no eye contact, right? So you can hold on to the webcam, and then hold on to record. I'll be looking everywhere, not the camera, right? Imitate what we do in meetings. Okay. And then next one, smile. So we'll try to be nice and smiling. Webcam, hold to record. Smile. Okay. And then the last one, angry, right? Okay, so hold on to record. I'm angry.
You don't know how to be angry.
Okay. All right. And then we can do train the model. Yeah. So remember we talked about supervised machine learning, like 4 classes of facial expression, right? And you train the machine learning model to learn your facial expression. Okay. So that's how.
In the last video, you how to add data to your model.
Just click on this button to get started.
Okay, so I think I have the model somewhere. So it's still training. So let me, okay. So as you train your data, let's move on. And we can test that later, right? So we have the 4 classes, eye contact, distracted eyes, and then, let's see. I think the model is still being trained, but we can move on with this. So this is what it looks like, right? Once the model was trained, I trained the model last night, so it will show you, right, like whether you have eye contact or no eye contact, whether you are smiling or unhappy. So it will show you, right, on the output side. So it's kind of like prediction. So I think it will be nice. This can be a useful tool, right? Before you move on to public presentations, you can have your Teachable Machine open and do that practice session. Try to have engagement with your camera that way. Make sense? So this is how you can use AI to help you practice talking, right? Confidently. Okay. And then I also want to introduce to you the power pose. So Professor Lee talked about standing straight, right, and stay open. So Amy Cuddy is a Harvard professor who talked about nonverbal communication and how to fake it until you make it, right? You try to pretend to be confident and friendly and whatever you want to be, and you keep practicing it until it becomes your habit, right? So let's look at some of the poses. So tell me which one is a power pose, right? A power pose, you stay open, you try to claim space, right, to show your dominance, your confidence. So power pose A1 or A2? Your table. A1. Okay, B1 or B2? B1. C1 or C2? C2. D1 or D2? D1. E1 or E2? E1. Okay, so are you trying to stay open, right, during your daily experiences, right? So I want you to think about that. How do you claim territory as you get into like this disagreement with someone, right? You try to claim your space and say, I belong here, right? I have authority here. So that's what you can do non-verbally, right, to take more control in the moment. Okay, and your mom, right? Kids here, your mom has been telling you stand up and tall, upright and tall, and she is correct. You need to stand upright and tall to have that power pose, right? Powerful, right? So you stand, your shoulder back, right? Feet apart. Okay, chest open, right? That's how you claim, that confidence pose. You take up space, right? Okay, and then there's Wonder Woman stance, right? Like you do this, you do this. All right? So I'm powerful, I can do it, right? And one really famous example is President Lyndon Johnson, as you can see, right? When he was in conflict with someone, he's looking upright right to your face, that person, and try to claim more spot, right? By trying to not like bending back. So you see the powerful and powerless pose right here, right? So it's really, really pragmatic in terms of practice. And so I want to go back to Amy Cuddy's life hack. So what he suggested, right? When you feel stressed out, you feel nervous, you feel like, okay, you've been dismissed by someone, you feel frustrated, practice this power pose, victory stance, right? Arms up, fist, right? And say, I am powerful, I can do this. I used to do this with my daughter when she was doing chess tournaments, when she was practicing, when she was competing with adult male or older male students and feel intimidated, we used to do that in the bathroom. We go to the restroom and do that power pose, and then she'd go back and practice. I think that's something that you can think about. And then I'll end with another tool that you can use, the pose coach. So you can have the URL here. So those are the two models I trained. We have a face coach, right, which some of you were experimenting with, and then the pose coach, which basically look at your pose and tell you stand up straight, you are hunching forward, you are closing up. So that can be an automatic reminder of you to use the power pose, be confident, right? Stand up bright and tall, right? And then be ready for your next presentation or discussion or confrontation, right? So if you look at the model still trained, the connection is pretty slow. But I do have the pose net here, right? If I stand upright, it shows I'm upright. Punching forward, you see, it tells you. So when you practice, you do that, right? Hunching forward, I feel powerless. Okay, it shows you, right? So that's a pose net. The AI can show the different joints, the position of different joints of your body, and give you that type of feedback. So I think for practice, you can use facial recognition or pose recognition to help you to have more eye contact, smile more often, stand upright, and doing all the right things to claim your stuff, right? To claim your authority. All right, I think that's it. So we'll open the floor for questions. If you have any questions for Dee or for me, feel free to ask. I'll reach out. Thank you.